Families are falling apart, not over money, not over betrayal, over politics. Parents are getting cut off left and right. And honestly, some of these stories are heartbreaking. We got grandmas getting ghosted, dads losing daughters, whole family trees getting chopped down. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
Maybe Trump isn't all bad. I got this text from my grandma today, and my first thought is, oh my God, she's gone back to the dark side. And my second thought is, why do I bother? I'm giving up. Avoid it. And I'm sharing this because I want to be transparent about the struggles and how frustrating it can be when you feel like you've made progress with your conservative parents, grandparents. Then I realized I needed to reframe, because if we just keep speaking into a vacuum, we're just going to keep getting the same results we have been getting. She's just asking questions, and she's seeing these things on TV. And unless I respond, then the only thing she's going to hear is Fox News. And while they may not be honest, they are persistent.
On average.
See what she almost did there, though. Her grandma sends one text asking a question, and her first instinct is panic mode, gone to the dark side, like grandma joined a secret society or something. But she caught herself, and that's the part nobody's talking about. She said, wait, she's just asking questions, and if I don't answer, the only voice she hears is the TV. That's actually smart, because you don't change minds by disappearing. You change minds by showing up. Even when it's annoying, even when it's the same conversation for the 15th time, the real ones stay in the ring. They don't walk out.
2.5 million people cut off of food stamps every single month on average, and over 10 million people cut off their health insurance while adding $3.4 trillion to the debt, according to a Congressional Budget Office estimate, which is a nonpartisan committee from the federal government.
Okay, so what I have not seen, is I have not seen the direct effects of food, food, I guess SNAP benefits or whatever on kids. I haven't directly seen it. I know that even before then that food insecurity was a thing. Okay, I don't think that the Bush administration, the Obama administration, the first Trump administration, or the Biden administration had done a lot about food security. I don't think that it's something that is really being attacked.
Now, this dude is actually making a fair point, and I can respect that. He's saying food insecurity wasn't invented yesterday. It's been a problem through every administration. Bush didn't fix it. Obama didn't fix it. Nobody did. And he's right, but here's where it gets uncomfortable. 2.5 million people losing food stamps monthly and 10 million losing health insurance. Those aren't just numbers on a screen. Those are families. Those are kids. And the wildest part is most of the people losing those benefits live in the same communities that voted for these cuts. You can't complain about government spending and then be shocked when the government stops spending on you. That's not a political opinion. That's just math. The move is to stop cheering for cuts until you actually read what's being cut.
Okay, and I think that there should be a lot more done about it. Okay, I know.
You don't think it's something being attacked? I just gave you an explicit example of how it's being attacked to the degree of hundreds of thousands of children and millions of adults.
Hi, this is a series about cutting off your Trumpy family members. Why do you need to be perfect? Why do you need to consider everyone's feelings and make sure everyone is okay in the situation and watch what you say and say it perfectly and say it right, while they get to say whatever? They get to be racist, mean, awful to you, not respect your boundaries. They get to say whatever, do whatever, never consider your feelings. Why do you need to be perfect? And they get to do and say whatever. Does that sound fair to you?
Jennifer Piggott voted for Trump in the November election. Then in February, she was fired from her civil service job.
Absolutely, I feel a little bit betrayed.
She was among more than 125 people dismissed last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
There's always that back and forth conversation now. It's like, you knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives.
No kings, no tyrants, no kings, no tyrants.
The cuts have shaken up a community that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. He won West Virginia with 70% of the vote, one of his biggest victories.
Jennifer Piggott 3-time voter for the same guy and then got fired by that same administration. And she's in West Virginia where 70% of the town voted the same way. So this isn't some isolated case. This is a whole community getting blindsided. The quote that wrecks me is nobody that I talked to understood the devastation. People were warning you, Jennifer, for years, but it didn't feel real until it was your paycheck that disappeared. And that's the uncomfortable truth about politics in general. Nobody cares until the bill shows up at their door. She's owning it, though, and that takes guts, honestly.
But the betrayal felt by Pigott, a church-going conservative and 3-time Trump voter, comes as political analysts are examining early signs of a possible backlash in Republican stronghold. Jennifer Pigott.
All of the people that are getting on here and talking about how their family members are cutting them off and, refusing to talk to them and breaking up friendships, and people that are literally like dissolving their family units and those like really strong relationships, at least what we would think would be strong relationships, because of a difference of opinion in politics, because of a difference of who people voted for. I just have to say, first off, it's not you, it's them. It's 100% them.
Hi, it's not your responsibility to prevent people from receiving consequences. If someone acts like a bully and votes against your humanity, the natural consequence is that you're not in their life anymore. It's not up to you to twist yourself into a pretzel to make sure that they don't ever receive that consequence.
All right, so he's saying if someone votes against your humanity, the natural consequence is losing you. And I get the logic, I really do. But let me push back just a little because I think this matters. There's a massive difference between protecting yourself from genuine abuse and punishing someone for a ballot. Your uncle being loud and wrong at dinner is not the same as your uncle being dangerous. And I know some people are going to say, well, the policies are dangerous, and yes, sometimes they are. But if we cut off every single person who sees the world differently, we end up in echo chambers talking to nobody but ourselves. Set boundaries, absolutely. But burning every bridge means you're stuck on an island alone. And lonely people don't change the world, they just post about it.
You don't need to sacrifice yourself to make sure that somebody doesn't get the natural consequences of their bigoted and selfish choices. It's not your responsibility to make sure to pretend that you love the relationship, that you want to stay, that you enjoy it, that, oh, it's fine, when it's not fine. Get out of there. Go, move on, and tell them as quickly as possible.
To our parents who vote against our human rights, do you remember raising us to love people like Christ? Because I learned to welcome every person into my space and make it safe, to listen to their stories and believe them, to feed the hungry and keep the poor warm, to bravely stand behind my beliefs. I tell you that even now, I think I love more like God than you do, and I am who you raised me to be, and somehow you don't see how I got this way. Toxic empathy is what you use to describe something that used to mean Christ's love, and I know I'm far from saying a prayer to him, but he knows me more than he knows you, and I'm still confused because these teachings from a book that I don't use molded me, and you're still reading it, but you can't think the same as me. I promise you are not the marginalized. You can still make choices based on your beliefs. Your book teaches free will, but you're busy taking...
She went full spoken word, and honestly the bars were hitting, you raised me to love like Christ, and now you call that toxic empathy. That line right there should be framed on a wall somewhere, because the contradiction is so real for anyone who grew up in a religious household. You get taught to feed the hungry, keep the poor, warm, welcome the stranger, and then you watch the same people who taught you that vote to do the exact opposite. And she's not even angry, she's genuinely confused. Like, how did you read me this book and then not follow a single page of it? That's not a political argument, that's a daughter asking her parents why they stopped being who they said they were.
Taking it from anyone who thinks differently than you.
The idea you had of me, who was she? A never needy, ever lovely jewel, whose shine reflects on you. Not weeping in a party bathroom, some actress asking me what happened to you. That's what happened to you.
She entered the U.S. illegally and didn't become a citizen until just a few years ago. She also came with a young illegal child. We lived in, a few different shelters during those first few years of my childhood. And when I went to school, I was on free lunch. My little brother, he also still receives free lunch at school. We have a decent life now. I mean, I'm a grown adult living on my own, and she's remarried and all, but it baffles me that she would vote for someone like that, especially given her own past. Not to mention, you know, the health care rights of her 2 daughters. So when I asked her why she voted that way, she said, the border. I mean, the absolute hypocrisy, it left me speechless. And she even mentioned that someone told her he was an upstanding guy. So I told her that if she wanted to support someone who, you know, lacked empathy and thought everyone should just pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, then she should do the same. I told her I wouldn't be paying for their internet anymore, so they'd need to figure it out on their own. And, well...
This story is actually wild because his mom came to this country with nothing. Used shelters, used free lunch programs, built a whole life from scratch, and then voted to slam the door shut on everyone behind her. When she said the border was her reason, I actually had to pause. Ma'am, your story is the border story. You were that person, and look, the son cutting off the internet is petty, I'll give you that. But the frustration is real when someone benefits from every safety net in the system and then votes to rip those nets away. That's not politics anymore. That's just pulling the ladder up after you climbed it.
I shut it off. So, anyway, did I overreact? I mean, I have it paused right now, but I'll probably cancel it once I get someone on the phone.
Breaking news, everybody. It has been confirmed on the Book of the Face that yet another MAGA woman has seen the light. She's seen the light, and she publicly went on the Book of the Face to declare she had seen the light. This woman wore choo-choos with the MAGA things on it. I mean, like, she was in it. She was in it to win it, okay? She drank all the Kool-Aid. Imagine this is Kool-Aid, okay? She drank it all. She drank it all. People, all of it. She's seen the light. And now all the other MAGAs on there are like, no. No, what you're saying isn't true. That's propaganda. And she's like, wait, no, that's not.
So a woman who was fully in the movement starts questioning things publicly, goes on Facebook, says, hey, maybe we got some things wrong. And what happens? Her own people turn on her immediately. No, that's propaganda. Don't listen to that. And that should scare everybody watching this, regardless of what side you're on. Because when a group punishes you for asking questions, that's not a movement, that's a trap. Real confidence in your beliefs means you can handle doubt. Real strength means someone disagreeing with you doesn't threaten your whole identity. If you've ever had a thought that went against your group and you swallowed it out of fear, sit with that for a second. Because that's not loyalty, my friend. That's control.
Not propaganda. And she's countering. And her eyes have just been like, whoa, open. It's like the magic spell has been taken off. It's magical to see and watch the Book of the Face as they open the eyes of the cloudiness. Have a happy Monday.
So last night, I told my mom and dad that because they voted for someone who wants me dead, that they no longer have the privilege of having their daughter and their granddaughters in their life. And I told them, never contact me again. I'm never calling you. I want nothing to do with you. And take me out of the will. I have a younger brother who is also a MAGA. I said, when you guys pass away, give him the entire house. I don't want to inherit your house. I don't want anything from you. I don't want to hear from you ever again. Because I'm no longer safe being in a relationship with you. Because I'm queer, I'm autistic, I'm like half disabled, I have Lyme disease and POTS and a bunch of other shit. And I'm bisexual, I have 2 daughters, and my husband's also bisexual. It's like, I'm no longer safe with people like you. You'd be the first ones to turn me into the Schnazis if shit went down here. So, I just, to anyone in the comments that's going to say, oh my god, that's so terrible, the left is so hateful, you guys shouldn't be cutting off your family. You know what, I'm not going to fucking go to Thanksgiving dinner with my family and look them in the eye and just play nice anymore. Like, I'm done doing this. I have been gaslit and neglected and verbally abused by my family for being different my entire life. And I've cut off all my aunts and uncles.
This one is heavy, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. She cut off her parents, her aunts, her uncles, basically drew a line through her entire family tree, and she's saying she doesn't feel safe, which is a strong word. Now, I'm not going to tell someone their feelings aren't valid, because clearly she's been carrying this for years, but comparing your parents to the worst people in history because of how they voted, that's an escalation that might feel justified in the moment, but it closes a door that's really hard to reopen. Here's the deeper thing, though. When the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally make you feel like you're the problem, just for existing, yeah, that breaks something inside you that politics didn't create, it just exposed. The real wound here isn't political. It's personal, and it started way before any election.
Uncles, anyone who voted for Trump, anyone who's a Christian in my family, I know they voted for Trump. So I have like 3 people in between I have 2 people on my mom's side and 1 person on my dad's side left, and they're cousins. Cause yeah, and I have my husband, I have my 2 daughters, and that's all I need. I'm not going to be gaslit, and I'm not going to be gaslit anymore. I'm done living this life. So, good riddance, bye.
Considering how my mother wears a diaper, she cannot get out of her chair. My dad has recently had a heart attack, and probably is going to have more because he has to take care of my mother, who is twice his size, who wears diapers, who is basically a child now. And I had to help them. I also had to be their therapist because they have marriage issues. And no, they're not going to be better off without me at all. I was someone that was forced to help them. So no, I'm going to be better off without them. They're not going to be better off without me. They have lost some of their support to clean up their shit and dump out their toilets for them and go over and clean their moldy cat pee infested house for them. So yeah, you're wrong, but nice try.
So I am not going home for Christmas this year. In fact, I haven't gone home for Christmas since 2021, actually. This is a video I've thought about making for years, and then I just get bummed out and blow it off. But I think it's important to talk about, because MAGA isn't just a divide in DC, it is a divide in our families. I'm not going home because I haven't talked to my dad since Roe v. Wade was overturned. That was the point I realized I just couldn't reach him. And I mean, we'd already kind of had a strained relationship growing up, really because we're so similar. Like, we are both stubborn, overly confident, overly passionate kind of assholes. And most importantly, we are both very, very set in our moral beliefs. And there was a point in my early 20s where we'd really gotten to have a good relationship until Trump came along. My dad had voted for Obama twice and then became a diehard MAGA. And we tried for years to navigate that, but at a certain point, the anger and hatred that Trump fuels just burned away any trust or respect we had for each other. And I really haven't talked about this publicly much, because it's not just sad, it kind of makes me feel like
This is the one that actually got me. She's not yelling, she's not raging, she's just sitting there missing her dad. Said it makes her feel like a failure, and honestly that line hit different. Her dad voted for Obama twice and then completely switched up, and she said they're exactly alike. Both stubborn, both passionate, both won't budge, which means they're both sitting somewhere right now too proud to pick up the phone. And that's the tragedy of all of this, honestly. It's not the loud, angry cutoffs that hurt the most. It's the quiet ones, where 2 people who love each other just stop talking. To anyone watching this who hasn't spoken to someone they love in months or years. Not to argue, not to convince, just to say I miss you. Life doesn't wait for you to win the argument first.
failure. Like, I already constantly have imposter syndrome, and if I can't reach my own dad, am I even making a difference? But then I also realized out of all of the people following me, some of you guys gotta be in the same boat. And I wouldn't want any of you guys to feel like you're failing. If you slid in my DMs and told me you're alone on Christmas, I'd be telling you to go get yourself a bottle of wine and some candy, throw on some movies, binge some video games, rest up and treat yourself. We've got a fight ahead in 2026. So I guess I'm finally making this video to just say that. And to anyone else who might be alone over the holidays, you know, you're not alone. So I'm gonna take my own advice and drink too much and play video games and gear up for the midterms. Maybe somewhere along the way I'll get through to someone else's dad, and that would be worth it.
I'm about to show you a video you want to watch. This is the energy that we need when we're dealing with MAGA going forward. There's no more politeness. There's no more accepting or trying to meet them in the middle anymore, because these people that are supporting what's happening right now in our nation, they're fascists, they're racist, they're homophobic, they're sexist. Let me just show you. You don't want to miss this video.
These are my progressive parents who allowed a Trump voter over to our house on the 4th of July. This is what it looks like when fascism is hidden by complicity. I was threatened earlier to pay a bill because I'm speaking out against my progressive parents inviting a Trump voter over on the 4th of July.
I absolutely love this girl and her courage and her energy, and this is the energy that we need to be bringing to the table now, because these people are fascists, they're sexist, they're homophobic, they're racist. No more allowing them to sit at our table. There's an old phrase that goes like this: if you have 11 people sitting at the table with a schmatzi, you have 12 schmatzis, and that's the truth. And we need to realize that, wake up, and no longer play games with these people, no longer have them sitting at our tables. All my love.
We just watched something that goes way deeper than politics. Daughters losing fathers, mothers getting cut off, whole families going silent. And the common thread in every single clip wasn't left or right. It was pain. Just people in pain trying to figure out what to do with it. Some handled it with grace, some handled it with anger, some are still figuring it out. The question I want to leave you with is simple. Is being right more important than being connected to the people you love? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to hear both sides. Like, share, subscribe.